The phone vibrated on the nightstand, a harsh buzz slicing through the silence of the pre-dawn hour. My heart lurched as I fumbled for it, the screen's glow stinging my sleep-heavy eyes. A single text from Lily, my fiancée. I'm 8 weeks pregnant. You will pay child support. The words seared into my brain, cold and sharp as a blade. Pregnant? Child support? My pulse thundered, confusion tangling with a sickening dread. We hadn't been intimate in months, not since her late nights at the office began, her excuses piling up like unpaid bills. I stared at the message, the room's shadows pressing against me, heavy with questions I wasn't ready to ask. The apartment was still, the faint hum of the refrigerator a distant pulse. I sat up, the bedsheets cool against my clammy skin, and read the text again. My thumb hovered over the reply button but no words came. Lily was asleep in the next room, or so I thought, her insistence on separate beds lately chalked up to needing space. Space. That word had been a splinter under my skin for weeks, vague but persistent. I swung my legs over the bed's edge, the hardwood floor icy beneath my feet, and tiptoed to the living room. Her phone lay on the coffee table, a silent sentinel. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. Her lock screen yielded to my trembling fingers. Her password hadn't changed since we met. The message app was open, a thread with Evan glowing at the top. My stomach twisted as I scrolled. Miss you already, she'd written last night. Can't wait for tomorrow, he'd replied, with a heart emoji that felt like a punch. My breath caught, jagged and shallow. Evan. Her coworker. The one she'd laughed off as just a friend, when I'd noticed her mentioning him too often, her eyes darting away. The text stretched back weeks, intimate, playful, damning. My knees buckled and I sank onto the couch, the leather creaking under my weight. The truth was a weight I couldn't carry, but it was already crushing me. Morning light bled through the curtains, gray and unforgiving. I heard her stirring, the soft shuffle of her slippers on the floor. My heart pounded, torn between rage and a desperate need to understand. Lily, I called, my voice cracking like thin ice. She appeared in the doorway, her auburn hair mussed, her expression guarded. What's this? I held up her phone, the text to Evan still burning on the screen. Her face drained of color, eyes wide, lips parting as if to speak but finding no words. The silence was deafening, a void where trust used to live. I can explain, she finally whispered, her voice barely audible, like a breeze before a storm. It's not what you think. But her eyes betrayed her, flickering with guilt, fear, maybe even regret. I wanted to believe her, to cling to the love we'd built over 3 years, the late-night talks, the shared dreams of a house by the lake, the ring I'd placed on her finger 6 months ago. Then explain, I said, my voice low, trembling with a fury I barely recognized. Explain why you're texting another man about a baby you're claiming is mine. She sank into the armchair, her hands twisting in her lap. It was a mistake, she said, her words fragile like glass about to shatter. Evan and I, it just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Each syllable was a needle, piercing the fragile hope I'd been holding onto. How long? I asked, my throat tight. She looked away, her silence louder than any confession. Months, she admitted finally, her voice breaking. But I love you, Nate. I swear I do. Love. The word felt hollow, a cruel echo of what we'd had. I stood, pacing the room, the walls closing in. The scent of her lavender perfume lingered, once comforting, now suffocating. So why the text? I demanded, stopping to face her. Why tell me I'm on the hook for a child that might not even be mine? Her eyes filled with tears, but they didn't move me. Not anymore. I panicked, she said. Evan, he doesn't want this. I thought you'd stay, that I'd what? Raise his kid. Pay for your betrayal. My voice rose, raw and jagged, the anger spilling out like blood from a wound. She flinched, but I couldn't stop. You thought I'd just accept it? After everything? The room spun, memories flashing, her laugh at our first date, the way she'd curled into me during thunderstorms, the promises we'd made. All lies now, or so it felt. She stood, reaching for me, but I stepped back, the distance between us a chasm. I didn't mean to hurt you, she sobbed. I was scared. I still want us. Her words were a plea, but they rang false like a song out of tune. I shook my head, my chest tight with grief and rage. You don't get to decide that anymore, I said, my voice steady now, cold. You broke us. The day unraveled in fragments, her packing a bag, her tearful apologies, the slam of the door as she left. I sat alone, the apartment too quiet, the weight of her betrayal sinking deeper. But then my phone buzzed again. Another text, this time from an unknown number. Nate, it's Evan. We need to talk. My blood ran cold. What more could there be? I hesitated, then typed back, where? His reply was immediate. The cafe on 5th. 1 hour. The cafe was crowded, the clatter of dishes and murmur of voices a stark contrast to the storm inside me. Evan sat in a corner booth, his face pale, eyes shadowed. He didn't look like the villain I'd imagined. Just a man flawed and nervous. It's not what you think, he said before I could speak, his voice low, urgent. Lily lied to both of us. My heart stuttered. What? I managed, my voice barely above a whisper. He leaned forward, his hands clasped tightly. She told me you two were over. That you'd agreed to separate. I didn't know about the engagement until last week. His words hit like a freight train, shattering the narrative I'd built. The baby, he continued, his voice breaking. She says it's mine, but she's been dodging a paternity test. I think she's playing us both. The world tilted. Lily, the woman I'd loved, wasn't just unfaithful. She was a manipulator, weaving lies to trap us both. I thought of her tears, her pleas, and felt a sickening clarity. She hadn't just betrayed me. She'd orchestrated a game, gambling with our lives. What do we do? I asked, my voice hollow, the fight drained out of me. Evan met my gaze, his eyes reflecting my own exhaustion. We find the truth, he said. Together. I nodded, a fragile alliance born from shared betrayal. As I left the cafe, the city's pulse felt distant, my heart heavy with a new resolve. Lily's lies had unraveled us, but they wouldn't define us. Not anymore.